They were only referring to valid votes. I mean, I can't imagine a commission will direct the chief election officer to bring a declaration based on invalid votes.
Right.
There is
So,
a, what you call a presumption of regularity in law.
mhm,
Omnia presumuntur rites acta. All public bodies and constitutional commissions and legal authorities are presumed to act correctly unless you can show otherwise.
right.
You have to rebut that presumption.
Correct.
So when the commission direct Lowenfield to go totally votes, obviously they mean total votes, valid votes. They can't direct him to bring invalid votes. The invalid votes were not counted, they were invalid,
That's right.
meaning that they were rejected or spoiled ballots and
Yes.
put in separate containers.
Right.
And obviously, you can't, nobody can, nobody can seriously argue. Unfortunately, it was not argued at the Court of Appeal. I wanted them to argue that Lowenfield can arrogate unto himself the power to hear and determine these allegations, elevate them into evidence, and then make a finding upon them all by himself without hearing anyone. I mean, that is the height of ludicrosity. If anyone believes that Lowenfield has the power to discount votes based upon the allegation received from one contesting party, elevate those allegations into facts, and then use them to deduct or invalidate people's votes. I mean, you got to be bordering on lunacy to think that Lowenfield has that power. So
Correct.
anybody who put forward that argument, they need to be certified as insane.
Correct. So, Council,
Now, the other point I want to make
yes.
is that if you go through all the cases dealing with elections, they will tell you that the right to vote is one of the most sacrosanct and cherished rights in a democratic society. It is akin, it is protected by the constitution of most countries.
Mm-hmm.
It is akin to a fundamental right and freedom. And no person can lose that right to vote other than by a judicial process
Right.
where he must be afforded an opportunity to be heard, represented by a lawyer, told the allegation against him why his vote is likely to be invalidated,
Mm-hmm.
allowed an opportunity to cross-examine and test that evidence,
That's
and
right.
allowed the opportunity to also lead evidence of his own.
Correct.
You tell me that Lowenfield will incarnate himself into that kind of powerful person or personage or institution and invalidate tens of thousands of votes?
Mm-hmm.
No rational mind
Correct. Yes.
can
Yes.
can assimilate that and process that.
Well, but we have seen one step or another of irrationality since March 3rd to now. And let
Well,
me just yes, go on.
yeah, it is for that reason. It is for that reason that our team of lawyers, we are not going to sleep tonight. We have to think this thing through.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we feel that this decision in any way harms us or is dangerous or can be acted upon, but simply because we live in a society where politicians now are going to misinterpret this order, abuse it, manipulate it for their own political design
Mm-hmm.
and the furtherance of their political agenda, as they did with the no confidence motion,
Correct.
as they did with so many court decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and we will lack clarity on the way forward, and we have a society that is prone to violence when things are not, going
Yes.
in a particular direction. And then the other issue is we have to consider whether, seriously, as a lawyer, I cannot leave the state of the law in this state of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because what will happen? Where do you go next? When you want to challenge an elections petition, where do you go? Do you come back to the Court of Appeal? Because the election petition also involves a challenge to the presidency. And this court ruled that you can only challenge the presidency here. So do I file one case in the Court of Appeal to challenge the presidency and another case in the High Court by way of an election petition?
Right.
Do you understand
Yes.
the state of confusion that our legal system has been plunged into? So, for the purpose of clarity of the law and to bring order back to the society and put the law on its proper footing, we may have to be forced as responsible citizens take this case forward only for the purpose of bringing some kind of legal equilibrium to the state of our law so that in the future
That's right.
we don't know where, because if you don't appeal and the time goes, expires for appealing, remember, you don't have a right at large to appeal. You have time frame.
Correct.
And if we don't appeal and we leave the law in this state of chaos, I don't know what will happen in the future.
Correct.
There will be a complete breakdown of law and order in this country.
Because, counsel, one of the sad realities that is coming up is that here is a government that just refuses to accept that it must get out of office. From the no confidence motion to now, this government has shown that regardless of what you do as a people or as a country, we're not going to come out from office. And so with all of this shenanigans, it throws a very, very dangerous future ahead for us as a people, because it means any government in the future can decide elections don't matter, to your point you had made earlier.
Yog,